of the forge where the embers glow. Emphr searches high and low for the steel that sings like a blade of fire. He'll face the dark and never tire. The cost, the weight he bears through endless nights and battle stares. Each strike of the hammer, each swing of the blade. The journey is long, but he's unafraid. Through the ash and smoke, the flames grow higher. He won't back down and forge his desire. Steel in his heart and fire in his eyes. He'll rise above, he'll touch the sky. Steel in the fire, forged in the night. A hero's path, a warrior's fight. He'll seek the power in the iron's call. Through the flames he'll conquer all. For every battle, for every test, he'll find the strength, he'll give his best. With the heat of the forge and the clash of steel, he'll shape his fate, he'll make it real. Echoes of war, the cries in the air. He's forged in the struggle, he's learned to dare. In the shadows of mountains, the caverns deep, he hunts for the ore that never sleeps. The stars above and the earth below guide him onward as the embers glow. With every blow, with every flame, he carves his legend and earns his name. Through the ash and smoke, the flames grow higher. He won't back down and forge his desire. Steel in his heart and fire in his eyes. He'll rise above, he'll touch the sky. Steel in the fire, forged in the night. A hero's path, a warrior's fight. He'll seek the power in the iron's call. Through the flames he'll conquer all. For every battle, for every test, he'll find the strength, he'll give his best. With the heat of the forge and the clash of steel, he'll shape his fate, he'll make it real.
Hello, welcome to another podcast of Emphr, Search for Steel in the World of Axe Day. So here we are, and I will do some housekeeping as normal, meaning I will start off the chat with the real old first programming I've ever learned, which made the computer say hello world. And we will see our dashboard here. All right. So we got a lot going on tonight. And I was, of course, thinking today, and I was like, what can I talk about tonight? And there was something I really thought about, and I was like, you know what? There is some stream ideas that I want to go over, and I came up with the cultural sayings in the United States. So I was like, we'll talk about that. Let's do a little more housekeeping real quick. So I was planning today just to do a couple really boring things, so you didn't have to watch me do boring things. Although our topics of conversation are really interesting and fun, as everyone knows. I just went the wrong way. I'll take a look. It's nighttime. It's the second time I logged on at night when it's nighttime. I am really digging this house design. I just got to finish it. So tonight we might actually finish a little bit more of the house. I want to maybe get the second floor done, and then proceed to the third floor, and maybe a little bit more of the storage area as well. Luckily, in this game, you don't have to worry about defenses, meaning there's no real defenses that you need to worry about. Like, look at this. This guy has a wall. And if I were to try to attack that wall, it'd be almost impossible. And that guy up there is never getting attacked from this position anyway. Really cool, though. I like the designs. Mine, I went more for houses because there's no real no real way I'm going to get attacked in this territory. So there's scouts. Oh, let me get changed first. Let me do that. So I'll go over here. And everyone will see me change into... I should report this. Every once in a while when you go into a chest, it does not pick up on the ability for you to actually hit the G key. And G is just to transfer over to the first available space in the chest. So we'll get that. I don't really need to do any of those today. Actually, you know what? I'll just keep it going. And here's another thing. Okay. Let's get this. There we go. All right. And then I can go into this chest and actually get my working clothes. I am on a role-playing server, so I kind of enjoy the role-playing aspects of it. And it gives you an opportunity to see different things. Somebody just came up to me. And let's see what Glurbus. I think he's actually pretty high level. He's literally just standing there. And I feel almost embarrassed. He caught me changing. And he is doing nothing. He has a tabard on. If you see the tabard, that means he's in a clan. But there we go. He figured it out. That was really weird. There we go. He came back. And he's got his bow out for some reason. All I did not know that was Glorbus's. All right, so we just commented on that. And he stopped by. Very cool. And I'm trying to stay. All right. That was unexpected. It's pretty interesting how the oh, I gotta get stuff to build, huh? That would help. I love the social interactions of the game, or most MMORPGs, especially those types of games that really put a lot of thought into the role playing aspect. It's very cool, and I know a lot of MMORPGs that will do that. He was kind of out of character, which kind of was weird, but that's fine. I'm not like a snob or anything. was hearing something. Oh, and by the way, you can use the tool benches and tables in anybody's house. You can't use their materials, but you can use the tools and stuff. No, that's not where I wanted to go. A little lag today. Where am I going? I need building materials. And I forgot where I put them. See, this is where having too many chests can work against you. And it definitely does. Like, I could really fill all of these chests up very, very, very easily with all the stuff from my first house, because my first house was so much bigger than this. I need clay and stone. I thought I saw some clay out here. There we go. Nope, that out. This one. There we go. Okay, clay and stone. And we should be good to go to start building again. All right. So here, I don't know how I want to do this. Do I want to create some type of roof? There are roofing choices or roof choices in here, which are down here, which require hay and clay shingles. Ah, yeah, I made plenty of clay shingles, so let's get good. I remember I anticipated I needed them for building at a certain point in time. So I made some in my pottery kiln. There we go. That should be enough to get me started. If not, I can go get some more clay. I have plenty of coal right now. So yeah, this is me being very picky, I suppose. Let's see how these things go on. Tiled window, end cap. Let's see. Let me go upstairs real quick. I think it might be an easier angle. That's one thing you have to really work on is the angle to actually see. And this is why I'm eating, because if I fall from a certain height, I want to be able to survive it. I have been in the position where I've fallen, went to the center of town because that's where it was. And basically it was like, you died. I was like, oh, man. Wow, that is really large. I have a... There we go. That works. I really hate to do it that way because I'm spending a lot of... Man. Well, no, wait. Can I... Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. All right. I would have to go like this, right? Yeah, I'm putting my cursor on there like that. And then I'm going to create a... There we go. Ah, I had it. And there should be one of these in the inner roof corner. Wow, that is really big. I need a small inner roof corner. Do they have it? Nope. They do not. That is huge. We just need a small one. You would think they would come up with this, but they did not. So that means I'm going to have to come up with a way to... So that would be a cap. So you would kind of do this. Like this. But there's no real cap yet. I don't need a cap just yet. I gotta figure out how I'm going to place that second one. All right. All right. So that's really where I wanted to start. This is gonna be a balcony. So I don't want to close this one off. There we go. And then I'll take that. And what I do here is I'll put it through because that aligns everything symmetrically. Boom. Done. All right. As I'm building, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Otherwise, in the comments, and I'll try to get to them. Yeah, let me do this as well, because I think the last couple times the world sounds were really soft, and I don't want them to be too soft for you because they really immerse you in the world. It's pretty cool. So enjoy. All right, over here, I'll create these type of ones, because these type of ones are cool. And something like that. Ooh, no, wait, I got a better idea. Something like this. Do I want a window? Yeah, I want a window like that. That's what I want. There we go. Now I need brick. Oof. Okay. I didn't realize I'm going to need this much brick. That's all right. So let's talk. Let's talk about these cultural sayings. Like, for example, I was thinking about this today. I was like, why? Because yesterday we talked about one, and it was basically the saying that it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. And we went kind of like into the psychology of that and why I felt it was morally and ethically inappropriate to do those things and to listen to people who associate or tell you or recommend to do those things. By the way, every once in a while I will pause because I am non-sponsored spot, but I'm really enjoying these Zevia. Zevia is a zero sugar soda. It has like 4 ingredients or 5 ingredients. It's not many. Here, let me read some of these because I've been talking about it. Carbonated water, of course, because it's soda. Natural flavors. Stevia leaf extract. Tartaric acid. Caffeine and citric acid. You know what? I just saw that. Tartaric acid, and I want to know what that is. I want to know what that is. I just realized that. I was like, let's find out. Tartaric acid. It's an organic compound. All right. Naturally occurs in many plants, particularly grapes, bananas, and tamarinds. So its formula is C4H6O6. If anybody can compare us. I love that, though, that Brock 2 actually presented the chemical formula. So basically it's used for stabilizers mostly. In plants, tartaric acid plays a role in metabolism, often linked to citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle. Generally recognized as safe under GRAS by the US FDA when used in foods. But I will capitulate that just because the FDA says it's safe, not sure it is. Not sure it is. So I am going to question that. That's why I wanted to find out what the heck it was. Because honestly, it doesn't sound too bad. No, it's a natural thing. High doses might cause gastrointestinal irritation, but it's generally well tolerated in normal dietary amounts. All right, so doing my own research, I'm going to say right now I am going to give it my approval. But yeah, it's basically those chemicals. I mean, it has citric acid, and this one I'm drinking has caffeine, but most of them don't. Like the cream soda I usually drink doesn't even have the tartaric acid in it. It has less. It has like water, natural flavors, stevia leaf extract, and citric acid. But I wanted a Coca-Cola type, so that one actually has the tartaric acid. I don't drink that near as often as the other one. The cream is the best. And then I have grape here as well, and it does have water, natural flavors. Yeah, so I'm gonna add, you know how companies get away with stuff, so what does natural flavors mean in ingredients? I'm so curious. All right, here you go. Natural flavors are substances used to impart or help impart flavor in food. They must be derived from plant or animal materials without significant chemical alteration. So, yeah, I'm reading the description, and honestly, we need more transparency in the food labels, because natural flavors means it's basically tasting enhancing compound from natural sources without specifying exactly what source that's coming from. So the sources could be fruits, vegetables, spices, herbs, bark, roots, leaves, and other plant materials. Or from the animals, it could be meats, dairy products, eggs, and other animal products. So not too concerned with natural flavors, which is good, because I'm looking for a treat that's more healthy than normal soda for sure. And I can't have no more soda, so I try to keep all the sugars out I can. And it's not that I don't eat sugars, certain sugars I do. But for the most part, I try to keep that to a minimum. That's why when I promote Zevia, I really do think it's like I said, soda is not healthy for you in any excess. Moderation's the key, right? That's a commercial right there, right? No, but honestly, when I look into these things, whatever I put, one of my favorite sayings from somebody was, "Don't drink your calories." I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. All right, so let's start now that I am not as parched as I once was. Oh wait, let me go back upstairs. I know what I can do. Okay. I was thinking about where I can put this. Uh-oh. Yeah, took 84. This is why I eat, guys. This is why I eat. 84 I wouldn't have died from, but that was stupid. Anyway. Welcome to Emphr Stupidity. Brought to you by Emphr Stupidity. I need sapwood beets? No, fine beets. Okay. I gotta have some storage in here. There we go. Oh, I still got plenty. In this world, trying to get heartwood is very, very. It's not as easy as it was in the other world. I think I know where I can get some, but it was like, holy crap, man. Really? Alright, so let's... There we go. There we go. Let's see if I can do this. Why is this not? There it is. Ah, it's not enough. Look at a corner, maybe. Damn, corner's huge. This is the first time I've actually done roofing projects, so FYI. My other one, I had a flat roof. It was so much easier. Alright, so I gotta figure out how I'm gonna put a... Is it maybe... No, that's not gonna work. No. A corner piece would work, but these things are huge. Like, if I did that, look how big that thing is. It's like freaking huge. Oh my gosh. And I'm like running out of food, like left and right. These should be lasting like 25 minutes. Look how big that is. Alright, I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. Alright. Not a big deal. Let's go back upstairs. I need the other stairs. Here we go. I didn't make these symmetrical. I don't know why. Or did I? Yeah, I did. I still want to do this. Okay. All right, on the second floor, I want to do these. Oh, no, I don't want to do there. That, I want... If you look at where these two things are. There we go. Move these two here. Actually, I can get that. Seems a little slow tonight. I wonder if... Here we go. It'll work. Let's see what it looks like. My window's still there. Not as much of the window. I don't like that. I'm gonna thereby kill it. Because I want it this way here. There we go. Yeah, there. That's better. Oh, I need a door frame in there. There we go. And a door frame in here. Wow. Sometimes the computer's like really silly. Like, I'm gonna put it underneath because that's where exactly where you wanted it. It's like, no, that's not where I wanted it at all. There we go. Oh, wait. Did a double when I should have did a single. It's not a big deal. See, now it kind of marries the brick with the wall, which is kind of... And I'm keeping this open. So I actually should. I'm going to keep this open. Let's do something, you know. Oh, even picks. Make a bunch of those. Now do it that way. Maybe create a wall. I don't know if I want to create a wall. I want this kind of open. Like a, so maybe I'll do this, right? Maybe I'll do this. Or actually, you know what? I'll do this. then I'll take that. Nope, I won't take that. How about this? Will that work, or is that already all the way through? Yeah, it works. Basically, I'm just creating a room, right? Nice room. Which I'm gonna have to use some lighting, right? Let's see if I can do this over here. That means wooden beams, that's right. All right, so let's talk a little bit about different aspects of I think that'll be yeah, that'll be fine. I'm okay with that. All right. Different aspects of the these sayings, right? So let's start out with the customer is always right. It brings my business, pedigree, my knowledge of business in. All right, so the customer is always right. I have always thought this is a bad saying because the customer is not always right. Mostly why I say this is there are certain industries, especially, that the customer is wrong because we have to teach the customer sometimes, not always, about the purchases they make, the product they're going to buy, or the service they're going to buy. And if the customer is always right, that means we are always wrong. Meaning that the company's always wrong, and that's incorrect. That can't be. Now, if somebody misheard something or didn't set the proper expectations to the customer, then maybe, for sure, then you have it's a bit different, right? You don't necessarily have the customers right or wrong in that instance. You have a misunderstanding, and one of the biggest things that we could do is lie to the customer and say, oh no, you're right. Yeah, that worked. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. If that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, let's try to make it make sense. So what's a good way of approaching this? The better question is, when is a customer right and how are they right? And then you can attend to their need. Ultimately, we go back to psychology. Again, we found the foundation is social and societal and psychological aspects to the entire dynamic of the communication, right? When you're communicating, what is the one thing that you do or want to do when communicating? Think about what I just said, because it's awesome. When you think about conversations in this way, you might not talk as much, but let me get an academic. Let me get an academic definition of what is communication. So the reason I do this is because we always want to set a baseline within our conversation or our theoretical. If we want to change something or want to discuss it or we want to play with or toy with ideas, we should all come to an understanding of a base or a foundation of the conversation and agree on that foundation before you start building on it. Same with houses, right? You want a strong foundation before you start building different aspects of the house. So when we talk about this, we need... I don't think this is going to work either. It's not too bad. That's not horrible. It still is horrible. I don't like it. No, I need to. Yeah. I don't have to fight with that right now. So let's talk about communication in general, right? So we can have a conversation based off of that foundation. And if you've come into the chat or listening, go ahead and throw a hello in the chat so I know you're there. All right, so the communication is the process of exchanging information, ideas, emotions, or messages between individuals or groups through various channels and methods. The rest of the definition, I'll read the rest of the definition, but it's academic. It is a fundamental aspect of human interaction and can occur through verbal, nonverbal, written, or visual means. I didn't want to read that second part. It's an academic definition. It's true, for sure. I would hope anyway. If you think about exchange, the exchange of information, ideas, emotions, or messages between individuals or groups, right? Using various methods. That's communication in general. But exchanging the information. So the academic is kind of weird because you're exchanging information, right? You're exchanging ideas, you're exchanging emotions, you're exchanging messages between individuals or groups. It's an exchange. So it's a back and forth. So communication inherently is A person talks to B person and B person talks to A person. So in groups, you can lecture, but you're not really communicating. You're not, well, it's kind of subtle, right? Because are you exchanging at that point when you're talking to a group? Meaning maybe a lecture, but like you're in an arena. Are you really communicating, or are you lecturing or informing? Right? You're providing information for sure, but it's not an exchange of information. So it's an interesting concept. So let's bring it back to our topic, right? When we're talking about a customer is always right, where is the communication? If the customer is saying they are right and you are wrong, there's no exchange of information, ideas, emotions, or messages. We come down to a basic idea, right? Of looking at the exchange. Well, we want an exchange. As a company, we want it to exchange. For example, in this game, early access especially, we are exchanging information with the developers. We are communicating with developers. That is not to say we are controlling, but we're definitely giving feedback and communication with them. So when we think about things like that, and we're looking at different ways of applying the communication, right? Covering resin. I can't remember if I have. I think I'd throw it away. Power for sure. Might have some. Yeah. Oh my god, I have a lot. It just take too much. Yeah, there's no place to put the chandeliers that I make, so let's get rid of that and that. These are a low-cost item. Here we go. handlers do we need? 3 handlers. Here we go. I'm just trying to make a couple here. I think they're groups of 5. I really don't get anything out of this, so that's fine. No, we need those. That's the whole point of it. Okay. Alright, let's get back over here. Okay, so now we're talking about communication. Is the customer always right? And I think based on our conversation so far, or my lecture so far, because we're not having a conversation just yet, we can pretty much break down that the customer shouldn't always be right. They're right when they're right. I'm not gonna say they're wrong when they're correct. Well, it's definitely not communicating. Now, the core components of communication, and this is imperative that everybody seriously learn this, because it'll help you on your journey when you're trying to convey ideas. The sender is the one initiating. The message is the content being communicated, ideas, emotions, or information. The medium or channel, whichever what you are using, so speech, written, gestures, digital platforms. The receiver is the group or individual whom the message is intended. Feedback is a response from the receiver, and it helps the sender know that the message was understood. That, number 5, is probably the one that we're lacking most in society today. Context, the environment, situation, or situation in which the communication occurs, influencing in tone and style. Noise, any interference that can disrupt the communication process. Physical noise, misunderstandings, or technical issues, communications barriers, whether that's English as a second language or insert language, and English, an English speaker is trying to interpret like Chinese or Spanish or Mexican or El Salvadorian or Brazilian or Portuguese, right? I don't think Brazil is like formal Portuguese. That's why I say it that way. It could be. Like Cuba is, I think it's called Frederican Spanish, which is a proper Spanish in actual Spain. But when you go to Mexico, it's not exactly Spanish. It's more their own style. It's Mexican. It has a lot of components. I mean, I bet you can communicate fairly easily from Mexico and Spain. However, if you don't know, and you read my bio on LinkedIn and read my articles, what I did, I was in the Navy, so I did port in Spain, and we had Mexican speakers on my ship, and it seemed like they can communicate okay, but the Spanish weren't exactly thrilled with the type of Spanish they were speaking, or it seemed that way, which is fine. I mean, at least they can communicate. I couldn't, because I don't know Spanish. I wish I could learn languages. I'm sure I could learn them, but I'd have to be immersed in it. You know what I mean? Like literally in the thick of things. All right, back to the saying. So the customer is always right. In business, we shouldn't take this tact, like ever. And there's a lot of reasons for it. One, the customer could have misunderstood what they purchased, in which case the customer isn't right, but the company should be listening. Number 5, remember, listening to the customer and providing essential communication back to the customer to explain the situation. This doesn't mean that the customer doesn't get their money back or anything to that effect. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying, though, is the fact that the customer, they're not right. And it's okay. Communication I'm thinking in the background of my mind. My mind works very chaotically. You'll come to understand that as if you follow this channel, follow, subscribe. See what I mean? Anyway, when you're talking about customers being right, wrong, or indifferent, you really need to ponder the situations. What do I mean by that? The situations are going to tell you, and we touched on this last night. The situations are going to tell you different things about the communication that you're providing in the moment. Consider somebody had a bad day, and this was the last thing they wanted to do is come back to this office or phone you or your company. They don't know your day. So let's put this as a pin. We need to change our culture. If we want a more empathetic society, remember there is a difference between empathy and sympathy. If we want a more empathetic society, we need to understand who we're talking to as human. It doesn't excuse bad behavior, and I want to be very poignant here. You treat people, you try to treat people with respect and dignity. Sometimes you fail. That's okay, because the other person that you failed will be able to catch you and say, look, dude, mister, I am not here to make your day any worse, but I'm not having the best day either. And this, being cultural, should snap you out of it. You know, you're right. It's not your fault. You're just the person I was able to contact within the company. You're the first person I had to talk to, and I just needed to get everything out before I forgot something. Do you know how much relief that person on the other end of the phone, like, dude, I understand. I've been there. Let's try to solve your problem. Let's try to solve the situation. That should be the conversation, right? Not, you owe me, da, 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 da. You know, I'm going to return this. Because you're one of the things you're using your communication, and you're putting the person in a box. And as everybody knows, we have a fight and flight, and there's a third part to that. You either fight, you flee, you fight, or you get paralyzed. You don't know what to do, right? So you paralyze yourself. In conversations, you can attribute a lot of those to the same thing. If somebody you think, and again, perception, right? If you think they're personally or verbally attacking you, you're going to fight. You're going to try to get out of the conversation, or you're not going to say anything. You're going to be like, what am I doing? Why is this person yelling at me? And you're going to think internally to yourself, and this person, the person who's very upset at you, is trying to communicate something to you. Whether that's bad, good, indifferent, or anything, you're really I'm already disengaged from the conversation, and that's where you've lost it, right? You've just lost the conversation. Not the best thing, right? I just thought of something I can do. So you walk away for a second, and nah, I don't think that'll work. Darn it. Yeah, darn, that would have been so sweet if it lined up. All right. Anyway, test failed. That's all right though. So as we go through these conversations and we try to pick up on social cues and everything like that, we also want to understand. We want to understand each other, and keep in mind that the person you're talking to in the company, or that is supposed to be with the company, may not be the person you need to talk to. So keep that in mind as well, right? Did that fall? But it said it was green. See how it's lit? It's not red. It's not red. It should hang. So let's see what happens. Nope. Okay. All right. We'll have to to use a bracer. I usually do it this way. Let's see what happens if I do this. This will work now. It's a little lower than I wanted it to. It's not at center. Is that good enough though? Yeah. Let's do this. That's not. Oh, that sucks. Next. That's pretty much center though, so we'll get rid of this. That should work. And I'm still underneath of it. Okay, cool. All right, so that works. So I'll have to do that throughout the build. It looks like that's okay. Cost me a little bit more though. And I'm not like loving doing that, but I have to. All right, back to the conversation. I really wish I had some feedback, honestly. You guys rock. I bet I could get a lot of good feedback. Did I do that? No. Center would be there. There we go. All right. So as I'm setting up these lamps, cost me so much in lumber. And not loving that. I'm biting my tongue as I'm doing this because I have to get it like aligned perfectly. No, Tony. Anyway, so that's where I'm at with the customer is always right. So when you think, it's the always, these definitive statements that all, always, every. You're proving just literally everybody or everything. It's like that's not the way the world actually works, right? And it shouldn't work that way. That's exactly not right. So when we look at these things, we want to be sure that the customer may be right. That's the other thing I wanna get across. This is not a definitive statement, right? We're not making definitive statements here. Trying to make this look cool, but I don't know if I can. There we go. There it is. They're a cheap light source, man. Anyway. All right. So I think when we explore the customer is always right, I'm looking up at the chat to see if anybody has joined. we want to make sure that the customer is actually right. It's basically the point. But you don't want to treat people. You want to treat people with respect, right? But you expect that treatment to be reciprocated. You don't. You certainly aren't looking for a treatment that wouldn't be good for you, right? I mean, that didn't work. There we go. That one of the times I had on the channel here, I talked about the golden rule and the bronze rule. So I'll bring that up again. The bronze rule to me, or the way it was explained, I'm sure it's not the bronze rule. It might be called something different. The golden rule is treat others the way you would want to be treated. I'm paraphrasing. The other rule is treat other people the way they behave. They want to be treated. If somebody comes at you aggressively, especially if it's a customer, customers are, I'm right. Okay. I get it. You're yelling at me. You're being aggressive. I really don't want to treat you like that. So I'll try to de-escalate the conversation. And if I can't, I'm going to treat you like you're treating me. And it's not necessarily the right thing to do, but it is a thing to do. Perhaps you can break them out of their psychological breakdown. And hopefully the way you can actually de-escalate the situation is by explaining to them the day they're having shouldn't be reflected in their everyday interactions. Hopefully. It doesn't work all the time. We're certainly not all psychologists, so it stands to reason, right, that we wouldn't be able to do near everything that we need to do to calm a situation down, nor should we expect our employees to be trained in such a manner, right? Keep those in mind as well, because that's a good point. Like, especially when you're talking about like kids who work for you, right? When you're talking about kids who work for you, you're really talking about inexperienced. They're not experienced, but they can get that experience. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're an experienced bad thing. That's not nowhere near what I'm saying, so please don't take it up. What I am saying is that since they're inexperienced, they may fly off the handle or may interpret a situation differently than they could or should. And with that said, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it out loud. The customer is not always right. And if they think they're right, then you deal with that. But they're not always right. So where that statement came from, I don't know, but I'd like it to die a grand and very public death. Because that the customer is not always right. That's a fact. And they should never be treated like they're always right. They should be treated with respect. Absolutely. That's, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying they shouldn't be treated with respect. However, if they continue to treat others with disrespect, then we have issues. I was thinking about going hunting. I've been over here. I've been down here. Well, I haven't been in this area. This area is scary. I have not been to the eye on this part of the map, though. Where's the eye? Guys usually... That is a ancient forest. I can't go there just yet. I need steel again. That's the whole title of this podcast, The Search for Steel. I guess that's a... What would you call that? There's a term for that. It's associated. It's associated. In life, we search for steel. In this game, we search for steel. I do not see an eyeball anywhere. That sucks. The other plane does have it, and this one does not. Yeah, no eyeball. Alright, that's alright. We will, we need a decent forest to hunt in. I can't take bears yet. That forest is really good, actually. Yeah, I'd have to get through these merry wildlands. I don't know if I can do that. Well, maybe if I cross the bridge, go across, get toward it. Can I go toward it? There's a big bridge here. So I'd have to get across the downs. Let's try. Alright. Maybe I'll take another set of arrows just to be safe. Top off my food as well. There we go. My house is slowly coming together. I'm loving it. Am I running out of it's elderberry? I wonder if I have any more. I got elderberries. That's cool. But no syrup. Ah, I got red currant syrup. I got blackberry syrup. Blackberry. Strawberry is 26, that's 32. 29. 23 and 20. So I have lots of blackberry at 32, and this one's 35. So I'll be losing a little bit, but at least I have to do something. And I need to find elderberries. Just thought of something. Oh, no. Okay. How am I going to get across? I'm going to go down. Okay. Actually, that would be faster. Alright, what's the next? If anybody has any questions about the customer results, right? And, you know, different business strategies should employ different tactics, but for the most part, when you encounter an irate customer, you have to, and this is the other cultural aspect to this entire conversation is the argument being made or is the customer's complaint or issue valid? And yes, you have to understand if it's valid or not. If somebody comes into McDonald's and says my Whopper wasn't made right, you have to tell them they're wrong. And this is how ridiculous it could get, right? So culture thing is a big thing. Hey, I want to return this. All right, let me open it up, make sure everything's in there. And if somebody says, no, you don't have to open it up, well, chances are they might be returning something that isn't even supposed to be in the box. But our culture is providing for that, right? It meaning we don't, liars, thieves, people who break the law, they're not the minor ones, the ones that nobody thinks they get caught at, right? Those type of thieves never get called on. They don't get called out. They don't get shunned. They don't get ostracized or shamed. Right? So all these things, to me, are a big deal. We shape our culture, we shape our society by enforcing good behavior or congratulating or complimenting good behavior and penalizing bad behavior. Right? That's a big thing. We don't do that anymore. Shame is not used. It's very used in Asia. It's absolutely used in Asia. These are tools that psychologists. Let's ask, because I'm curious. Pain and guilt. What do they believe? Psyche. And how could society use? Let's ask ChatGPT. This is, if you haven't guessed today, anybody who's listening, this is a podcast of learning, investigation, and if we're wrong, we're wrong. We'll change it. But you got to start somewhere on your learning journey. And I know a lot of us, we like to think about these things periodically. We don't set them in stone in our minds. We don't create a belief system around them. Remember, in our earlier podcasts, beliefs are etched in our mind, in our soul. In these aspects, in a belief aspect, things really have to go south, or a major life event has to occur for you to change a core belief. But when you're learning and you don't etch these into your core belief systems, they're not going to be remembered or policed by you with any what's a good word? Let me rephrase, because I can't think of the word. You're just not going to reinforce them in yourself, so you have no reason to remember them if they're not important. At the time you learned them, they were pretty important because you took the time to learn them. But it doesn't mean you etch them, right? You don't. It's not like the belief system occurs. So somebody over there. Okay, so let's look down. I gotta stop running before I run into something. Okay, here you go. All right, so we're going to define shame and guilt just so everybody doesn't... We're talking about the same thing. Shame is a feeling of being inherently flawed or bad, and guilt is a feeling of remorse for a specific action. I can tell you how I grew up, guilt was used. If guilt was a skill, my skill would be 100 out of 10. In any case, let's see. Shame is I am bad. Guilt is I did something. So guilt inherently is less of a degree, maybe, of shame. Meaning, if you place guilt on somebody, they are still a good person. They just did something bad and they should answer for it. Shame means they did something bad, they knew they did something bad, and they therefore are bad. Interesting. Okay. All right. Let's see. So ChatGPT is saying the effects of shame lead to the feelings of inadequacy, isolation, or worthlessness. I am definitely not a psychologist, but I don't know if making somebody feel worthless. Maybe it's a time duration thing with shame. Maybe I don't know. If you make them feel worthless for 15 minutes and then reinforce them after they've repented, it's maybe. I'm just throwing that out there because whoa, where did he come from? He just appeared. That's all right, and I'm not ready. I had to have no food. There we go. Which means I'm gonna have to play this food. I'm going to kill you, dire wolf. There we go. Oh, he got me. I'm trying to time it. There we go. There we go. I love the music. It's like, I think I remember them being here. It's like the little guardian troll of this bridge. Wolf, I salute you. I hate that. It's so noisy. I like the camp on the other side of the bridge. If you guys mess with me. Okay, so negative. So we talked about shame. Let's talk about guilt. Guilt can motivate corrective actions or repairable behaviors. Interesting. That's very academic, right? I do not know what that is. I think that's a deer of some sort. There's another dire wolf. Man, this place is just crawling with baddies. Three out. Oh, I got that fourth one out there. Oh. If I'm gonna take the damage, I might as well get that fourth attack out, right? Alright. That sucked. Take a potion if it allows me. There we go. Alright. So, shame and guilt. Two potent tools in society's toolbox. Should we use them, though? Honestly. So, the neuroscience of, let's see, if we trust ChatGPT, the neuroscience of this. Where am I going? Am I going the right way? No, I want to go through. I want to go that way. So the neuroscience of shame activates an anterior coagula. It's doing brain stuff. I can't. It's lag. I don't know. But basically, it activates a part of the brain associated with social pain and default mode network, which governs self-reflection. Wow, that's really academic. Let's talk about shame. Because like I said, shame is used more in Asia than it is in the Western societies. I think shame is also used in the Middle East. But and I could be wrong. I'd like to learn if anybody is out there, let me know where shame, if you think shame is used more often than guilt. In Western societies, guilt is, in my opinion, is far worse, or utilized, not worse, more utilized in Western societies. But like I said, I could be wrong. Let's see. People experiencing shame may withdraw from relationships or social interactions, exacerbating feelings of loneliness. Guilt, chronic or unresolved guilt, can lead to rumination, stress, and even compulsive behaviors, i.e., excessive self-punishment. And a lot of us do that. That's, at least here in the United States. People beat themselves up left and right. They never give themselves compliments. They spiral. And I blame that heavily on society, whether it's shame or guilt. When used inappropriately, you can hurt somebody a lot more than you think. And I think that in and of itself is a bad thing. I think I still want to go kind of left. I want to go this way though. Yeah, this is the way I want to go. I want to go through this mountain pass. God, that is the loudest thing. Okay. So when we look at societal use of shame in society and guilt, this is what ChatGPT says anyway. The traditional, and this is 4.0, but I'm not using 0.1. Traditional role. Historically, shame has been used to enforce social norms and deter undesirable behaviors. Examples are public shaming for crimes or social transgressions. Okay, I can see that. Overuse. Social media is public shaming can become disproportionate, leading to severe psychological harm or cancel culture. Wow, ChatGPT, I'm impressed. That is true. We really need, as a culture, we have to decide what our base morals and ethics are. For example, 120 years ago, even, well, the founding of the country for sure, the United States, one of the biggest things that you could do is, well, you're 90% of the country was Christian, so they had a foundation. They had a moral agreement, right? So keep that in mind as we pull through these. I see a building. I didn't know if it was a baddies or might just be people. I like that. That little star shape. That's cool. Wow, that's impressive. I like it. I like it. Wow, there's some really good builders in this area. Looks like I'm gonna have to get that down. Okay. I'm impressed with some of the buildings in this area. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, back to it. Guilt in society. Let's see. Overuse. Guilt. Excessive guilt induction, such as guilt tripping, can lead to stress, resentment, or diminished relationships. And I just let me. Yes, 100%. Is that a? That's a. Okay. Wow, look at the lag on this thing. Look at that blur. Oh boy. I can't believe I did it. I thought I hit them. I thought I hit it twice. I was mistaken. And this is lag. Yeah, I'm still streaming at a decent amount. But the world is laggy. This doesn't usually happen that often, honestly. Wonder how many people are on. All right, back to this. So we know the overuse on both, right? And I think the overuse in modern usage, it's guilt. It doesn't say the same thing, but social media can certainly exacerbate guilt or shame. I don't think it's one over the other. Both the overuse could be counterproductive on both, right? Shame, you can lead to defensiveness, resentment, reducing the likelihood of behavior change. Makes sense, right? If you look at a lot of people, and like I said, in conversation in the customer example, customer is always right example. No matter if you're the communicator or the receiver, if you're put into a corner, you are done for, right? You have three options. You're either fighting, fleeing, or you are paralyzed. Same with guilt and shame. Are they tools we should use? I think we should, but we all have to have a moral foundation to use them. Meaning we all have to agree when it's appropriate. How much is overuse? Why is it overuse? Who controls it? And if we control ourselves, we all have to agree as one society the appropriate times to use it, right? If you disagree, put it in the comments, but I think most people would agree with this line of thinking. We have to have societal tools to adjust behavior into the social norms. One of the arguments that might be proposed against this is we all should be individuals. Who cares what other people think? But that leads to where we are today. If nobody cares what other people think, then welcome to today's society. Right? There's people get away with stuff, they do stuff, and they say, you can't judge me. You can't shame or guilt me. That's not right. Why do you, who are you? Really? Is the lag that much? That's funny. I'm glad I was here, not anywhere else. That would have sucked if it was a creature that's a little bit more beefy. Some of these houses are really nice. I wonder if this is a town. In the last iteration in verse 1 is what they call it, the last world. They built towns. And that would be really cool if this was a town that they built, or if players actually built this. Because if players built this is fantastic. But if it's a town, man, I live really far away from this town. That's alright. Let's see if anybody's around. Yeah. Nobody's around. Okay, back to the so is there a constructive role for these? Yeah. The constructive role, as by, and we can probably surmise this without having to read it, but let's read it just to make sure we're not saying anything that would be unaligned. Guilt encourages personal responsibility and ethical behavior. Yeah. Why do I say it like that? Well, you have to have a moral foundation, right? You have to be aligned with the actual what personal responsibility and ethical behavior is. If you don't agree on the ethical behavior, then you're not going to align it with guilt. You're probably going to have the overuse. So, yeah. I still think both should be used, but I think we have to go back to a foundation. And how do we do that, really? Like I was saying, like 200 years ago, the foundation was a Christian moral, ethical foundation based on the Bible. Let's take out right or wrong or indifferent. Let's take those arguments out. People believed it, and the society was based on those. Back in the day when I was younger, when I was growing up, my parents actually. No, that's where penis is. My parents actually left the front door open. I believe it's the 70s, early 80s. And nobody would enter the house. Why? Because everybody had a moral foundation. They wouldn't steal from their neighbor. There wasn't many thieves, and if you did get caught as a thief, you would have to basically repent, right, or be ostracized from the society as a whole. People wouldn't hire thieves. It wasn't because they were a thief. It was because they had no moral compass. Why would I hire you? Right? I pulled that. And gosh darn it. If penis is behind me. I can get that thing. Ah, the thing moves too much. I'm glad I brought some arrows. Holy crap. Penis is probably like, this guy's drunk laying on a Saturday night. So put in the comments if you think you agree with, what your views are. Can we have a society that uses tools to bring people back into a line, into the foundation of what the norms should be? Is guilt and shame the way to go if used appropriately and by people who know it, actually know what it means, right? That's the other aspect to this that we have to ensure, is that people who use these tools, and that's what they are, they're tools, right? Am I already? Wow. Where do I want to go? Let's go this way. Is that the way I'm going? If I go that way, here, get that way. Let's go behind us. Let's do that. Anyway, so write in the chat, in the comments, what you think, what your thoughts are. Let's have a conversation on it. I believe, and this is one of the reasons I created the channel. I don't want a society where we can't trust each other. To me, it just doesn't make sense. I was thinking about this tonight, right? One of the biggest fears I have is societal collapse, right? It doesn't mean it's going to happen. But basically, my thought is, really, did you see that lag? He got all the way over there. That's so much lag, it's not funny. Anyway. Oh, I guess he didn't get all that. Poor guy. Anyway, glad there's not a Bugs Bunny in this world. I would not survive. Look at all these stag over here. That lagger isn't me. I'm gonna say it's me. Wow, look at all this wildlife. It's pretty cool. Really? Oh my god. How annoying. I think it's partly the lag. I'm not gonna blame it completely on the lag, though. I refuse. I have morals, I have ethics. I'm not gonna blame it on it. I am not gonna blame it. Ah, see what I mean? That was totally me. That was not the lag. I didn't think I'd get that. That was a high risk shot there. Wow, that roam on that thing was pretty good. Alright. So, let's see what else it says. Shame should focus on behaviors, not identity, to aim and encourage reflection without dehumanizing the individual. I agree. Once you dehumanize somebody, your punishment has... I thought he was going that way. My God. Seriously? Got one of them. There's no way I was hitting that one. I need to stop. I'm wasting so many arrows. Not like they're hard to get, but they're a pain in the butt. Luckily, I don't have to use my steel for, or my ore for steel anymore. That would suck. This looks like Emphr. Yeah. Looks like I'm going into the wilds, so I want to kind of aim this way. I don't know if the wilds are up there or over here. It was the fox's fault, I swear. This is an interesting area. Man, why didn't I pick up over here? There's so many different things over here. Are you serious? Am I just not doing this right? At any rate, so I'm beginning to rethink the guild and stuff, because in essence, what we have to think about is society as a whole and how we're going to use these tools. And right now, I don't have the utmost confidence that society can use these tools appropriately. Meaning, people can do some real damage with these tools. You know what I mean? It's incredible that, you know, I feel that we should use these tools, but the more and more I think of society, the more and more I think it's not right. To levy these tools. I don't even think courts right now have the wisdom in order to use these tools appropriately, or the ethical or moral background. Do we have to create a society where these tools are sacrosanct, or not the tools, but the damn lag? Come on, man. I know I can get into defensive posture. Hoping the lag kind of went away for a minute, but it's back. So let's see. So both the ethical use, the very next paragraph for ChatGPT was the ethical use of them, of the tools. Let's see what it has to say, because I think we covered a lot of it, but I want to make sure, especially when we're talking about the customer's always right, but this kind of is tangential, core, foundational to our discussion of any type of tool that we're going to use in society or culture, right? I would be remiss not to be able to review the foundation or the tools to provide people to create the tools to bring people back into a line. They gotta want to be in a line first. They gotta want to be able to satisfy societal needs. One thing we need to implore people is the course of action we're on, and this is why I say, if society breaks down, I just feel we're doomed. As far as, let's go with a hypothetical. Let's say, and it's not really that hypothetical, but let's say hypothetically, the sun spit out a X-70 or X-80 class flare aimed right at Earth. This did happen in the past, probably several times, but the one notable time that I can bring up is the Carrington event. The Carrington event launched an they don't know, but they theorize it was around 70 or 80. So when you look at an X-80, it's not theoretically impossible. And if it's aimed at Earth, the magnetic field of Earth is waning, meaning it's not as strong as it once was. And it's getting weaker. So, oh, by the way, just a side note. Does anybody else like these views? The grass, the water that splashes when you go through it on the puddles. When you move across the grass or in tall grass, take a look at the movement of the grass as you walk past it. It actually pushes away. Not all of it, but some of it, which kind of gives a definite realism to it. Look at the lighting and the sun, coming off the trees and coming off the clouds. And these clouds are just amazing. If you just take a moment and look up, you'll see them shift and move. They're doing weather on one of the updates, which is going to be phenomenal. I'm going to love it. Anyway, back to the post-apocalyptic. So if we get hit by this, right? Theoretically, in the Carrington event actually induced such a current through the copper wire of the telegraphs at the time. Some of the telegraph operators were shocked, electrocuted, not to death, but severely burned, and had the electrocution, right? That, again, not to die. I don't think there was any reported deaths, but there was reported deaths on the other aspect of it, or people who had weak hearts or other maladies. And it seems that I want to make a right, don't I? Let's go down this road a little bit further and let's do some exploration over here. So, with that said, any of the electronics of today would just burn out. Some people suggest that we should figure out, is there some defenses for the grid? And that was one of the bills proposed in Congress, is to fortify our grid against such a it's an old bore. Let's do it. I thought old bores were tougher. They're the only ones with wool right now. I literally don't need all this. I do want the wool fiber though. Whoever comes by here is gonna be like, jackpot! Nice house. Very cool. So the Carrington event, right, ended with a lot of damage. Even in the 1800s, it happened. So they think they didn't measure because they couldn't. They didn't have the tools to measure it. But they think it was around an X80, X70, X80. So if you think about that, and the electronics we have, cars have electronics in them. Even in the older ones, like the 1970s kind of cars, they have electric starters. There's a couple different aspects to it, right? That are electric. So ultimately, what I'm saying is, when this flare, and it's predicted, start to occur. White grapes are always good to pick up, by the way, if you find any. I got plenty of raspberries. Somebody's building up here? Really? He had to put that column up to find his house. That's a marker for somebody to find their house after they leave it. New to the game, not familiar with the terrain. Makes sense. It's logical. So let's go back to this Carrington event. So things happened, right? People died. Telegraphs burned up, caused fires. The copper wire that was just sitting around had an induction current on it, and it actually created different fires and shocked people just from sitting there. Just from sitting there. It didn't. Wow, this is a new biome for me. Whoa. This is a new site. This is awesome. Anyway. What I'm trying to get at is the fact that if an X70 or X80 with a weakening magnetic field hit Earth today, all your electronics would burn up. Even the ones that are off would burn up. Anything with a motor would burn up. Your cars would be useless because the starter and most of the things in a car today are electric, right? Wow. This is wicked. I wonder if I can use my axe on it. Let's find out. There's the fog. Dapperlings. I think I got one. I can chop it. Let's see what it gives me, though. If this is heartwood, I'm gonna... A decent amount of heartwood. Not great, but decent. Let me try this tree over here. What is this? Oh, what grapes? Man, I traveled a long time. I know there's white grapes near me, but this is a lot. Thought I heard something. It's falling right on me. I was like, what the hell? It's coming right on me. Alright, so let's make this scenario go full circle. In this scenario, all cars, all microwaves, all stoves, refrigerators, power plants, transformers, everything that supplies power to your house, all the motors at the water facilities, at sewage facilities. I get it. I think you're getting the picture. Oh crap! I wasn't ready for that. It was a 35. I don't think I could take that bore. Let's find out what kind of boar it is, though. The lotus tears around here. They were like a weed in my last world. Definitely wolves. Oh, an old boar. I could probably take an old boar. Not if both of them come at me, though. Yeah, I can't take these guys. Let's run. Did you see how little damage I did on that? That's crazy. Alright, they stopped following me. Alright, let's get out of this area. Gee whiz, that was just rough. I need steel, probably. I was not going to survive that. Decent amount of hardware, though. All right, so I think you get the gist of my comment. So basically, the world ends. People are stuck where they are, without food, without water, a clean source of water. In cities would be the worst place to be, right? But let's talk about society as a whole. When you're left in tatters like that, the foundation or moral foundation of a society, the actual culture of a society is going to be what sustains that society, or a semblance of humanity after that event. And this is where I really want to kind of put a lot of stress on it. Today, I don't feel that we would have much of a. I think we would be at each other's throats. We wouldn't trust each other. It'd be a low trust society. People would literally attempt to take from other people by force because the law is no longer around. So why listen? Why listen to your inner compass is going to be what at the end of the day allows survival. You'll be in survival mode. So if somebody has a family passing by, they have water and food, and you have a gun or a knife or a spear or whatever, right? You're gonna be like, well, what's theirs is mine, and nobody's gonna judge me for it. And that's the society we live in today, right? I mean, in a society back in ancient times, when two families met, there was probably an understanding, like, we want to leave this, we both want to leave this alive. We don't want to mess with you, and we don't want you to mess with us. There was an understanding. In today's society, I'm not sure that understanding exists as much. And that's the fear, I suppose. Hollywood actually, or there's been shows and TV shows about this kind of stuff. And for the most part, I think Revolution was a good one, right? Revolution Revolution was interesting because it was nanobots that basically ended all electricity. But in ending all electricity, you end all communications, etc., etc. Nobody really has. Well, people had weapons, but they expended their ammo in such a short time that they started using swords and stuff, right? So it became more an exercise of almost medieval times, in my opinion. than it was an exercise in ethics and combat, or well, ethics and culture. Interesting stuff, and that's why I want this channel to succeed so much, because I want us to come together and understand and explain to people why culture is so important and why it's so important to agree upon a culture that benefits everybody, not just one group, not just one area, not just one person. Man, the lag is great. I'm not happy with the lag. Anyway, so when we talk about the ethical use of shame, right? It sounds funny, but the ethical use of shame and guilt. But in the first sentence that I came across, the encouraged guilt. What was the it's focus on behavior, not identity. What you did was wrong, rather than shame what you are a bad person. Example, restorative justice programs focus on reparative actions rather than punishment. And even the founders of the United States were kind of standoffish on this punishment aspect, because we actually have an amendment in our Constitution that says the government should not have cruel and unusual punishment. And courts in the United States have been long in that vein of deciding what is cruel and unusual. Now, we can go into another aspect of the punitive versus the restorative aspect of the justice system. Or humans in general. Most of my examples will be a United States justice system, but humans in general, right? We have to think as one species. Once we start thinking as one species, and I'm not saying we can't have different countries and different cultures, that's not what I'm saying, but our thought patterns being one species versus crap. Really? Oh wow, did you see that attack? It hit 62 to a little badger. He deserved it. I wasn't ready for that combat. Anyway. At any rate, that's what I'm thinking, right? So when you look at restorative justice, we'll do a whole podcast on restorative versus punitive, and let's get some ideas on that too. But let's go back to the cultural aspects of ethics, shame and guilt. What are your thoughts? I mean, seriously, put them in the comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts on them. Please be complete in your thought. You don't need to cite any studies or anything. We're not here to do that. Although if you have some, my first podcast is one to listen to, because studies are very important, that you know where they're coming from and who wrote them. And then read them, because studies and try to answer one question at a time, or to actually disprove one question at a time. So when you do bring up studies, if I have time, I'll read them, but in a trust society, I'll take your word for it. We'll argue from, or discuss or debate from the point of view that you're presenting, and we'll see if we can't come up with something, right? It's very important that we have these conversations, and very important that within these conversations we have communication. We have somebody that is it almost sounds like a bear. Here he comes. I'll let him attack first. I love the combat music coming on way too late. Alright. So, yeah, that's what the channel's about. So, even with scientific theories, like, if you disagree about the sun, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. The sun flares periodically. We know it does. It's aimed at Earth. Bad things happen. So, take a look at it. Do your own research. It's very important that we look at these subjects and talk about them, communicate with one another. In this case, there's a lot of very interesting, awesome, very interesting conversations we can have around ethical use of shame and guilt. Did I get turned around again? Oh no, this is just, no, I want to go. I kind of want to go down a little bit into the right, but I can't. But I can't enter that forest, even though they have old boars, but their level's like 34. I don't even know what that means. Do I need to have a level of 34? Did somebody already build one of these? Awesome. Check this out. Somebody took the time to build a structure that goes up the side of the mountain. God, they gotta get those sound effects. I really don't like to go up these when I'm lagging, because they could be the death of me. Oh, look at this. This is impressive. Look at that. I just want you guys to appreciate. This guy's got some levels. See these curved beams? I don't have the level for the curved beams. This is cool. If you put a chest anywhere, I'll know who. Oh, look at this. He even gave the ability not to die. Wow, look at this. This is crazy. Love it. It's so cool, even though it has that little glitch in it. I gotta be very careful, because he might not have finished it. And right now it's lagging. So if I fall, I'm dead. Maybe if I walk. There we go. Lag's not as bad, and I can control a little bit better. I am so dead if this thing is not complete. There we go. The lag is gone now. Why it's lagging? I don't understand it. Man, he's got to complete this, because the very beginning is so awesome. This is crazy. He did such a good job on this. This is all done within your property lines, by the way. Your plot lines. Because you can't go outside your plot lines and build. So you actually have to complete a... Dude, this is his plot. It goes straight up. Oh, don't tell me this is it. I hope not. Going back down. Not great. See how you build the house here? And then he built... Jeez, he built so much. Oh, there's the stairs. Now we're back up here. Okay. So let's see where we are. Wow, that is a crazy build. Kudos to him. These are the mere wildlands. let's walk through it, because if I find something, it'll be cool. You know, I won't find anything running. And the lag, come on. Why does the game have to lag tonight? Very cool, though. All right, so yeah, let me know what you think in the comments and in the chat if you're here. But yeah, cultural foundations very important. So when we look at customer, the customer is always right. Let's go back to that. Guilt and shame should play a part in our society. Not saying everybody knows how to use it, and that's when I went off on the tangent. So we really need the ability for people to be on the same page. It's so important, right? Without people being on the same page as far as a culture, we might as well be living in different times and worlds. It's just not going to be not right. If I do it that way, I'd actually find something. Let's get a weapon out, right? And also, I should be looking for stuff in this mess. Looks like just a car area. I don't know if this area is worth coming to, like, at all. All right. What else can we talk about tonight? I went off on a tangent, but I think it's so important. A lot of people want to change the culture, but I think you have to talk about it first, right? You got to think and say, what are the moral foundations that we all agree on? It's a rabbit. I shouldn't care about a rabbit. Flax, mustard, oh boy. Or just in case there's a door over here. There's a couple doors over there. Got those over there. Yeah. All right. You even talked about the sun spitting out X-class flares. And by the way, the sun is at a solar maximum. Let's see. Let me ask you how to come up with some of the sayings that it came up with aren't that interesting to talk about, so I don't want to talk about them. It's just some of the things they came up with. I was like, yeah, as American as apple pie. No, I don't need to. Let's see. Let's do some philosophical sayings. I think we'll have fun with those. Oh, we're already at 2 hours. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize we were that far along in our podcast. I hope everybody's been enjoying it. Give me some feedback. Give me a comment or so in the comment section or in the chat. You've been seeing some sights tonight too. I mean, look at that. I'm sneaking up on him. I didn't even notice that people were. Oh, that's the local chat comes out. That's pretty cool. But I don't think anybody's near me. No. Really looking for like, rosemary or whatever. It's like the plant that does not ever grow like anywhere. Yet it's in the basic recipes for you to skill up. It's so annoying. It's in basic recipes. It shouldn't be this hard to find. Which one did I say? Philosophical sayings. All right, let's do a couple more of these, and then I know it's kind of the podcast is pretty long, but let me see where I am. I am like well far away from my house. It would be easier for me just to let's do this. Let's head back. And this is what he looks like. It's like praying to the goddess. Take me home. Take me home. And then you're home. Yeah, so let's talk until I get to the house and then I'll end the podcast. It's been great though. I like talking about things like this, and I try to integrate a lot of these philosophies into songs. Again, trying to influence the culture best I can. Just a number. 1 out of 350 million in the United States, 1 out of 7 billion in the world. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have the ability to have an audience at all and to have these recorded posterity, if you will. It may or may not be a grand event, but it is cool that we're able to discuss ideas over billions of people. Whoever has the internet, hundreds of millions of people could happen upon this, right? No, I'm not saying it will, but let's say even 10 million people clicked on this and they said, wow, this is kind of intriguing. And they listened to 10, 15 minutes of the talk, right? What's to say that it doesn't influence somebody? And this goes to anybody, any creator, which I think is great. And that's why I build the Suno songs with some type of message, some type of, and I try to build them with subtlety, right? So I don't want people to be overtly, I don't want it to be overt. Like anxiety, everybody has it. Let's sing about it. No. That's not, I do sing about anxiety. It's pretty, I don't want to say it's pretty common, but there's a lot of people that feel that they have anxiety, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. What I'm pointing out is they want to be reassured that they're not the only ones. So, if there's, like I was saying earlier, there's billions of people on there. If you think you're the only one going through something, then it's incumbent upon people everywhere to say, no, you're not alone. We all deal with it. We all deal with it differently. Let's talk. Or don't feel alone. I mean, at least you know that in your misery, you have other people there. I thought that was a badger. Did that? I don't think I'll get it. I waited too long on that. But Suno has actually allowed me the ability to express some things. Like I made a metal song on about demons and angels, you know, the demons inside. It's an expressive point, and like I said, I'm gonna make some. Do I just wait too long? Is it lag? Am I waiting too long? But I will be making music videos once I find a good AI generator. Right now I'm looking at based AI, and I'm not sold on it yet, and it's expensive. And I'll go through the AI, the amount of AI that it allows, like the tokens. Really? Tell me I missed that twice. Give me a break. It's so annoying. But I want everybody to share in the knowledge that I can provide, that we can talk about, we can explore. We're not always going to be right. I'm not worried about that. Correcting it will be the goal. I won't be able to go back into the episodes and figure out where I was wrong, but I can certainly correct them in the future episodes. Right now, I think I'm at 56. Is this episode 56, I think? Crazy. Episode 56. Absolutely insane. I love it, though. I love talking. Love sharing the game with everybody. I shout, yeah, but I'm just using this for skilling up my skinning, skilling it up. I should debut one of my newer songs. I actually was starting to craft songs with French lyrics integrated with English, and I was like, yeah, these are actually pretty good. And I did one with Italian as well. I did an Italian opera, like Italian opera anthem or something like that. It was like a rock song. It was pretty cool. It was pretty. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I can't believe that one. But yeah, I experiment with some songs, and I do all kinds of, like, I do metal, I do Celtic, I do hip hop, and well, did I do a hip hop? No, I did a soul and R&B though. That one actually sounded really good. I was very pleasantly surprised on that one. It was pretty cool, and I'll do a video on it for sure. But like I said, I'm trying to find the AI. That was way off. The AI version that will help me create the video, because right now I am not able to. I'm not an artist, so I rely on AI, and I guess where I would hope my artistry is, or where I'm learning my artistry, is the fact that did it die from like running at me? That was funny. No, I don't know why it died. But yeah, it's so noisy. So that's where I am in my, should I call it a career? I'm a podcaster. I can put that on my resume. What do you do? I podcast. I'm also a project manager. It's fun. Come on. If we don't have fun in this world, we really should think about having fun. Like I was saying when one of my early podcasts, there was this one D&D group that started out. I forget where they started out, but everybody knows as a bunch of voice actors that actually that created a D&D podcast, right? And they were one of the first to videotape their sessions, right? Which I think was I thought was fantastic. They did such a great job. It was so, and the storylines were pretty good. I really got to get back to the season 2. That one didn't capture me as much as season 1, and but it was still good. And they actually did an animation on season 1. So it's on Amazon. So go check it out. It's really good. They did a good job. It's kind of like, it's a D&D session. So you get some comedy in there. You get some serious situations in there. And they did such a great job acting it out. And they were doing this all improv. So just keep that in mind as well. It was pretty wild. And it was really cool. So the ability for us to reach audiences and provide fun for them is pretty cool. But I did all that for setting it up. They basically came up, and I hope if they made a T-shirt, I gotta get it. But they said basically that people would be like, oh, that, they would be dogging them about playing D&D and stuff like that. And one of the T-shirt ideas was what was it? I had it, and all that lead up, and now I forget it. Your fun is wrong. I love it. It's like, well, when you have fun, just have fun. Don't worry about what other people say, right? But it was absolutely insane. I was like, okay, that was really cool. It was a great tagline, and I want to give them credit because I think they came up with it and absolutely hit it out of the park. But as we go through this journey, and I find my cursor, my God, it was like all the way over on the other screen, and I keep going into the wrong one, I think. Yeah, that's the one I keep going into. I want to go into that one. There we go. I have some of these that I wanted to... Really, I did all that, and I have to go back into it. There we go. I'm trying to hit G. There we go. Because I'm lazy. I don't want to drop the drag. Let's get rid of the... Oh, I got skins down here, so let's put the skins down here. I could probably use these skins now, but that's alright. It's fun down here for now. A 2-hour podcast, and people are like, oh, he's still talking? He's still streaming? It's crazy. What did he have to say? I have to say a lot. Not that it's useful or anything to people, but it's fun. Let's see, where else am I going with this? There's food. I can use the grapes here, but I really want them to craft, honestly. So I'll leave them for the crafting table. Because I think I can use them to upskill, and that's the important part of this. That's why I dragged them all the way back from that God-forsaken land. The goddess-forsaken land. That in there too. Bone fragments. That goes upstairs. Being orderly is very important in this game. Have I mentioned that yet? Do not be chaotic. Now I am ready to... There's so much lag. I can't control my character. We saw some really cool things today, so thanks for coming along. It is really cool that you guys are watching, and it's fun to explore this world of PAX Day with listeners. So if you will go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. I think the like button actually feeds the algorithm. So the more you like and the more you comment, the more I get promoted by YouTube's algorithm. I don't know how many people would like to watch PAX Day, but I'm hoping they get this aspect of conversation in there. So 2 thumbs up, or I guess you can only give me 1. But I am on Twitter, and that's Calciano Daniel 1. I made an announcement for the game tonight, and I am on LinkedIn, where you can read my articles. They're mostly business focused, but I take ancient knowledge and try to apply it to today's leadership. I also talk a lot about AI and the integration of learning and how we learn versus how AI learns. What the tools can be very valuable in the company culture and the company workplace. So a lot of good information, I believe. I think I have over 100 articles now. I've been writing there for about a year now. So feel free to hop over to LinkedIn. You'll see some of my background. You'll see that I have a good feel for electronics, leadership, and management. I've been doing this for a while. The philosophy that's been my passion pretty much my entire life, because it intrigues me, and we should follow and pursue those things that intrigue us. And with the internet, learning is very plausible. You can ask Grok 2 or any AI, Grok 2 or ChatGPT, teach me about subject, insert subject, and it will, or tell me a lesson plan, and let's follow. You are the teacher, follow the lesson plan, and it will. And you can give it the parameters. I learn like this. This is my primary path of learning. So definitely use the tools and that are at your disposal. Come by and swing by, look at my X and look at my LinkedIn. Of course, I'll be here on YouTube. And I will be creating a music channel once I find a good AI video creator. I don't want to, as I said last night, I just don't want to put static PowerPoint, basically a PowerPoint music video, right? I tried it and I was like, yeah, this doesn't look good. And the pictures look good. They were all AI generated and they were pretty similar, and I was able to do some things, but they weren't moving. So it basically looked like a slideshow with music. I was like, yeah, that's not what I want. That's not how I'm going to do this. What else is going on? Yeah, those are the big things. But stop by. I will be doing this tomorrow night as well. PAX Day. I'm thinking about doing, I had one for Throne and Liberty, but Throne and Liberty is a game that's just action-packed, right? I really can't have conversations when I'm trying to hit the button sequence to get the right combos that I want. I would be more silent than anything. Although it's a good game. It's like WoW, honestly. It gets boring after a while. And once you reach level 50, which I haven't, but I'm close, it's just like, I took the wrong path. I'm not as powerful as I could be. Great. Awesome. Now I have to start over and actually take the path that would provide a little bit more utility later on in levels. I do play Elite Dangerous. That's a favorite game of mine. They're starting to make updates, so I'm going to begin to create or craft a podcast based off of that. I'm not sure what I'll do there. I might do the same format as PAX Day, where I talk about different social and cultural issues, and just make it insert it into the PAX Day quote unquote channel. because I don't have the same format. But I'm trying to think of something out of the box there. I also do some programming on the side. I also do my job as the primary source of income for all my my hobbies. But that's what they're there for. That's what my main job is there for, to supply my need for hobby. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, those are pretty big. That's pretty much it. Like, subscribe, notify, set that notification bell. Comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. What did I say right today? What did I say wrong today? What was the overall feeling that you had? And maybe tomorrow we'll do empathy and sympathy. The difference between empathy and sympathy. I want to actually go over consciousness as well, but that's a little more of an abstract concept, which is more spiritual. So I don't want to put sympathy and empathy in the same context. But I am chaotic, so we might just end up doing that. So at the same time, pretty much every day that I am able to cast. This week I'll probably podcast all week. I took the week off, so 8 Central is usually when I jump on here. I try to stay about an hour and a half. Tonight went a little long because I think we had an interesting subject that I could talk to. I hope, like I said, I hope everybody got something out of it. The beginning song and the end song are made by Suno. They are version 3.5. They still sound great, so I haven't changed them out to the version 4. I am coming up with a new intro song just because I like to kind of refresh it after so long. So hopefully you'll listen to the end or beginning and the end. I faded in. If you want the whole version, let me know and I'll play it through on the next episode that after you ask. With that said, we'll end it here. As I always say, be safe and be kind to everybody around you. Have a good night. Have a good day wherever you're listening. And we'll see each other tomorrow.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand. As I hone my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, but I won't turn back. The lessons I learned keep me on track. With each new skill, the stronger I grow. In the face of the storm, I let my courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm brave.